Well, hello and welcome back. If you remember the last time we were playing, we had purchased some new cows with a little bit of extra cash that we had. So I am going to come up here and make sure that they have enough water because I believe probably are a little low. They'll probably take this whole 2,000 if I had to guess. Let's take a look at our screen here and see. So we've got 16 brown and white cows. They are at 0% productivity right now. That is not good. So we need to address some things there. The pigs are at 74% because they need root crop. So uh, we'll get going on that soon. But we need to make sure we get a couple hay bales so we can make some TMR. If we get this TMR up there, that'll really help with the milk production. Um, you might be wondering why we need to buy hay bales when we've got 4 fields. Um, I had said at the beginning I was having some issues with the yield on this map for whatever reason. Oh, I'm just going to go ahead and run over another 2,000 water for them. I was having an issue with the yield on the grass field, and it wouldn't actually ted up. There just wasn't enough there to ted, I guess. I don't know. So I'm hoping that when we do a new grass field, it will be different. Otherwise, we're going to have to buy hay bales, which isn't the worst thing in the world. It just is not cost effective. So we'll see. We'll see about that. Um, but I'm glad we have more cows, and we have our mixer wagon, so we just need a few hay bales to get going with that. We have quite a few straw bales, so maybe what I'll do now is run up to the store with this and go ahead and get. Do you think I can get 3? I bet I can get 3 hay bales on here. That's my guess. So let's get 1950. What? Why is it so much? So one bale is. Okay, yeah, that's right. Sorry, for some reason I thought these were only 400 apiece. So that's a little less desirable there. But if I have 3 of these, that's 3 batches of TMR. Which, if it doesn't fill for them, it'll get close. So we'll go ahead and do this. I also have a worker in our first field. I don't know if you can see in the mini map or not, but I have a worker going down there running the subsoiler and the old case tractor. If you watched last episode, it's the same setup as that. So we're gonna grab these hay bales. Hopefully we'll be able to drive them back. If we have trouble, we'll just drop one off and bring the rest. Um, we'll get a load or 2 of TMR in for the cows, and then we may end up calling it an evening, and we'll simulate through the night. I do have a house here on this map, so I can actually simulate through the night. Some of my other saves, that there's no house, and so I have to just put it on 120 and go as fast as I can. Anyway, sorry I didn't really give much of a proper introduction. I just kind of got started. This is uh, the Midwest Horizons map. If you're new to the series, oh boy, that's a little bit, the weight's going to be a little to the right, but it looks okay. It looks like it's going to be fine. Um, You know, it would have been smart if I would have thought about this right, was it an episode or two ago when I sold my flatbed? This would have been a good job. Load up the flatbed with about 12 of these. Then we would have been set on TMR. But, I always get it in my head that I'll be able to make hay on my own. I really want my farm to be self-sufficient. Oh, oh goodness. I really want my farm to be self-sufficient. That's like always a goal of mine and every save. And yes, I know that I'm using pallet forks, not a bale spike. Uh, that's always a goal of mine. And then, stuff happens. Circumstances beyond my control. And I'm like, why? Why did I screw this up? All I had to do to prevent that from happening was drive slower. But was I able to control myself? No. I have a feeling I know what's going to happen here. But if we can at least get, you know, close to being home. I really like this telehandler. I've not really used telehandlers when I play this game. Okay. Perfect. If that just stays wedged right. No. Stay with us. Okay. I guess we'll come back and get that later. $650 and I just let it fall off. It's one of the weirdest price things in this game to me is hay. Like I don't know why they make it so expensive, but it's a whole thing. I don't know how much a 4,000 liter. All right. All right, you wise guy. I don't know how much a 4,000 liter hay bale would be in real life, but it seems like it'd be less than $650 considering it's just, you know, mostly dried grass in a lot of cases. I shouldn't say always, but oh, there's only 788. Can I unload any more here? Okay. So now, gosh, now what we want to do, I did not plan on the whole episode being this. So we want to go get a straw bale and put half of it. We want to put 2,000 liters in cow bedding. And then we'll put in a hay bale. Oh, what idiot left that out? This idiot. I'm the idiot. Okay, I'm the idiot. So we're going to put, I could tab over, but gosh, I might bale the front yard. My goodness, there's so much grass there. I try not to be this lazy in my gameplay all the time, but sometimes the circumstance just seems right for it. Okay, I'm going to put this, I should just take it over by the straw because that's where I'm going to need it next time. Okay, now we don't want to put this in yet, okay? We're going to put the straw in first. Actually, we can put this hay bale. I'll figure it out. Honest, I will. I'll figure it out. Oh gosh. Okay, let's put this hay bale in the front yard. I'm sure the neighbors won't mind. Keep in mind that's like the house for the hired help. I don't go in there. My house is that little one over there. I gave them the better house. It has absolutely nothing to do with, you know, the fact that there's no sleep trigger in this house. I'm not much of a role play type with this game, but I do have a little bit of suspension of disbelief for why there's two houses right here on this corner. Okay. So now, oh, I'm sitting here saying thinking I don't have another small tractor, but I do have that case. But it's on the corn. I almost called it a corn picker. It is not a corn picker. It's a corn silage maker, which is very confusing. But anyways, hey, I hope people are enjoying the series. I am having a blast with it myself. Honestly, it's one of those things where I'm like, man, I kind of wish I could play more, but I also know that people, you know, if there's too much, we're going half here. We're going down to about there. I know that if you make too much content, then people get irritated with it because they're like, I don't have time to watch all of this, right? Okay, we're gonna pull this up so we can keep track of our ratio. We want to put that grass bale in, and then we're gonna drive under the silage pipe and get silage to fill up the rest, and we're gonna dump the whole thing in for the new cows. But you know what I mean? Like if I make these episodes an hour long or something, nobody's gonna watch that. So I mean, not that my audience is super vast, anyways, but you know what I'm trying to say. Like I want to be considered. I try to make the kind of videos that I want to watch, and I want to watch other people play this game, and I really like to observe their choices, right? So like somebody else is going to watch this and be like, huh, I don't usually use telehandlers, but that one looks pretty cool. Maybe I'll try one next gameplay. Like maybe they don't typically play it this way, but hopefully by watching me use a particular tool, then they will feel inspired. Like that's genuinely my hope. Okay, there we go. Let's just fill this up. And our TMR, if you look over on the left-hand side, you see the mixing ratio there. We've got a third, we're about a half silage, a third hay, and just under 20% straw. And everybody's happy with that arrangement, okay? Where's my bucket? Where's my bucket? Do I have a bucket for the telehandler? Because if so, we need to get that. The cows need to be cleaned out. So then we come up here and see now this, if you're not familiar with the game, now this is going to come in as total mixed ration, which is going to bump their productivity from 75% up to 100%. So I think maybe they weren't producing earlier. They should have been producing, like it says here, 77%. So I don't know exactly what was going on. That's pretty cool. I know that's just a standard animation, but when you bring fresh food to cows, they do always come over. It's pretty funny. So do you get what I'm curious about here is if I have that bucket so I can clean this out. It would be really good to get it cleaned out. I'm excited to sell our first milk. It'll probably be another episode or two, but I'm excited to get that going. I don't really want to make another load of that if I can help it right now. I'm gonna look on, yeah, in the garage. We want to look and see if there's even a bucket to be found. It doesn't look like I have one. Um, so that's kind of a bummer, because that means I'm gonna have to drive up to the store again to get that bucket. And that would be 2 trips to the store in this episode with the same vehicle. So maybe we'll hold off on doing that until, I mean, is it gonna kill the cows? To be, oh, their cleanliness went up. All right, that was just a fluke. Let's see where the worker is, how the worker's doing on this. It's looking like, yeah, I think I'll take over for a bit here. We can probably scoot this over some. Worker has a nice straight line going. As soon as I get in the tractor, I'm like, what if we turn the wheel? Oh boy. So there's that. Yeah, so if we get this field done, what is essentially in game tonight, then the next day, the next in game day, we can put a worker on the other 2 fields and we can maybe start planting over here. So my thought was, I think we were hoping to do sugar beets for the pigs and grass. I'm going to split this field. I think I'm going to do, yeah, sugar beets and grass. Hope everybody's having a good day, a good night, whenever it is that you're watching this. You've probably noticed by now that these typically come out on Wednesdays. Hope that works out for a lot of people. I know there's some people that are like excited and waiting for it to drop, and others that find it later on. Uh, I've really enjoyed making farm sim content pretty much since day one on this channel. So glad to keep doing it. Glad to have your support. Appreciate you watching. Appreciate you tuning in. A lot of good people that follow this channel. It means a lot to me. I would farm. I would play this no matter what. I'm sure a lot of you can relate. A lot of you are people that play the game as well. Just love it. It's just a really interesting game with a lot of cool. Thank goodness for the modding community, right? I wouldn't play this game a third as much as I do if it wasn't. Oops. If it weren't for the mods, but these mods make it just so much more enjoyable. My prediction, don't tell anybody at Giants, but my prediction is that in 21, or probably closer to 2022, once they really get their Chicago branch up and running and everything moving along, I think that we're going to see a lot more intentional North American content for the game. I think it has really taken off here in a way that they probably always hoped. But oops, just threw my mic across the room. Um, but I'm thinking that this year is going to be a big year for more equipment partnerships and more mods, more content update kind of stuff. There's been a lot based in Europe because Giants is based in Europe, but now that they've got this North American office, I think that's gonna bode well for diehard fans of the series. I really think so. North America based diehard fans of the series. They have to know, just based on the feedback that they've been getting for the last several years, that we all love, not all, but a lot of us love the older equipment. And it's still just as good for the brands. The brands don't lose out. Me driving this old case doesn't mean I'm any less interested in case. If anything, it's good because, if I end up needing to get a garden tractor or a utility tractor, even as a suburbanite, and I go to the store and I see a bunch of brands I've never heard of, and then I see a little case, I'm gonna say, oh yeah, yeah, I know that brand. I'm familiar with that brand. And that's for people who are breaking into new markets. Just having people be familiar with things is great. Not to mention the fact that there's the ongoing storyline about the squad. Grant, who runs the squad, one of the guys that runs the squad, YouTube, actually went out and bought his own farm and is getting into farming now. Part of that story is interesting to me because he, has family that farm, so he's not totally disconnected from farming. But there you have somebody who is in a younger generation, didn't have the land or equipment to actually be a farmer, was playing the game and enjoying it, but through YouTube and through his financial success on YouTube, he was able to purchase land and equipment, and he's doing the real thing. And there's always stories about people who play ATS or ETS becoming truck drivers, and I think we're going to see a lot of people who might not know much about farming that decide, because they have played this game, to get into it. So for those brands to partner with Giants, I think is a great decision. Gets people familiar with their equipment. They can help Giants with getting 3D models and getting things into the game that are fully functional, or at least fully functional to suit the simulation that we're playing, and get people familiar with the latest and greatest equipment. Like in a world where you've got a ton of agribusiness, like these huge corporations that are farming tens of thousands of acres, and then you've got small farmers, small time farmers who are putting in, like a farm this size, this in-game farm size is very realistic in a lot of the American Midwest. A handful of fields, a small herd of cows, a handful of pigs, enough work to keep two, maybe three people busy, enough money to hopefully make one family successful, particularly if they if they have some oil rights that they can tap, oil or gas rights or something they can sell. Uh, a couple $100 for a hog here and there, a couple $100 for a load of milk here and there. It's not a lot, and it costs a lot of money, which is why there's so many farmers that are using vintage equipment, because old equipment can be fixed. Newer equipment with computers and all the fancy stuff, they need to have dealer certified mechanics, and that stuff gets expensive, just like fixing your car. People like old stuff because it works. Right? That's a country song, stuff that works. So we're getting there. Got a couple more of these to finish up, and we'll have the field done. This will be, see, I still can't decide. Maybe you guys, I don't know, I'll probably film the next episode before you guys get a chance to chime in. But I'd love to know if you were farming this, where would you put the sugar beets and where would you put the grass? Because what I'm thinking is sort of the end of that second hay barn over there. Maybe go like straight up from there and do this bigger section in grass and do the smaller section in root crop. We'll probably just do the one root crop because we don't have that many pigs, and we'll settle on a number, maybe 20, something like that. And then as we get more pigs beyond that, we'll just sell them. We'll just take them on a trip down to the butcher and sell them. And that'll be a little side bit of income. I don't want to spend an inordinate amount of time doing root crops. That's what it comes down to. Sorry if there are people watching who love doing root crops on this game. I mean, I get it, I do, but I always have to lease the equipment and it's costly. Honestly, this doesn't have a 3-point on the front, and this is probably the only tractor that I have that is going to be able to pull the actual harvester. So we're going to have to use one tractor to take the tops off, and then we'll have to go behind it with this one, and then we'll have our grain truck behind that. And we don't have any root crop storage set aside, so we're going to have to sort that out as well. Maybe I'll convert that little shed that's over by the water over there. Maybe I'll make that into root crop storage. So I don't think I can fit one between that hay barn and the pigs. I don't want to take away from this field. Maybe I could put it over there and take a little off of this edge of that field. Oops. I'm dreaming of farm building and got a little crooked there. Sorry about that. You know where I should put it, honestly, is up beside the equipment. Up beside that green equipment shed on the right-hand side of it. That's like the most logical place to do it. I mean, just because it's most logical doesn't mean that's what I'm actually going to end up doing, but I bet that's the most logical place. Oh, goodness. I know we're really just doing one task for a good portion of this video, but hopefully you all enjoy it. It's a relaxing job and a nice old tractor. Hopefully we can enjoy also planting in the next episode, but I think we're gonna go ahead and snag a shot of that in action, and I will catch you all in the next episode. Thanks so much for being here. My name is Bluebelly. I play simulation games, including Farming Simulator. Bye for now.